Now, this about from around the early 70s. Uber had just been locked up, and the streets was crazy. Everybody was scrambling and trying to see who was going to take the lead, but nobody wanted to put themselves in the hot seat, you know. Now, me, I was a nobody. Little everyday kid just trying to steal, you know, from the corner store or find somebody's bike lying in their yard. You know, my daddy, he go out of town a lot. And, you know, he'd be gone like 2-3 weeks at a time. And mama had a little job, you know, cleaning at a restaurant. And I was only child. So, you know, I would stay, you know, at my grandma's house all the time. And she stayed in the downstairs apartment. And we was upstairs. And, you know, I had an old school grandma. She was mean as a snake and phony as an $8 bill. You know, she ain't like having to watch me. So she basically, you know, just let me do whatever I wanted. And just as long as I came home for street light, man. And one night we got into a real heated basketball game. And, you know, I know we was young and we all wanted to be ball players and stuff. And in the ghetto, you got to, you know, either know how to sing or, you know, how to play some ball. Because it wasn't no going to college and all that. You know, the thought never crossed our minds. You know, but we out there, we getting it on, and all of a sudden, bang, 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 bang. You know, gunshots go off, and then the park cleared out like roaches when you cut them lights on, man. And I remember I fell down, and I was looking around, and, you know, it was like everything around me was just moving in slow motion. Kids was crying and screaming, and folk would get knocked over, and it was just straight like crazy. But you know how they say tornadoes had peace in the middle of it? That's where I was. I was in a peaceful little spot right in the middle, and I held on to that ball. And I would never let that ball go, because my daddy got me that ball. And I ain't unfreeze until everybody was already gone. Now, when I finally got up, I looked it around, and, you know, just see if anybody, you know, if anybody was around or whatever, you know, and I ain't see nobody, at least I thought. You know, so I heard a guy like moaning and groaning in pain off a little bit from the court. So it sounded like it came from behind the big dumpsters and stuff up next to the school building. Now I noticed it was a blood trail that led over there to where the sound came from. I always tried to help folk, so I went over to see what was going on. I figured it must have been the one that got shot and needed some help. Now I ran it over there real quick, and I seen the man down up on his knees and blood coming from everywhere. And the movies don't show what getting shot really like. Now, everything was red. Now, you know, everything was red. It red everywhere, juice everywhere. And I was watching, but I was too scared to get close to even say anything to him, man. Now, when I finally got ready to say something to him, the guy stood up and he started like growling, like a wild animal type thing, you know. And then he took his shirt off, and I seen he had bullet holes all in his body. Now he put his fingers up in the air, and now, you know, I know this where a lot of folk ain't gonna believe me, but the man's fingers started getting longer, like they started growing, and his nails got real long and sharp. And he reached in there and he pulled them bullets out. I know it sounds crazy, but that man reached in there and he pulled them bullets right out of her, and it hurted now. And he screamed the whole time, but, you know, he did it. And after he got that last one out, he started, you know, like real straining, right? Like he tried to take a dump or something, you know. And his skin got scaly and all the holes in him closed up. And he wiped the blood away. It just went like, you know, like a sigh of relief. I guess it felt good to get all that, the bullets out. I guess feel good when you can squeeze your bullet out. Now, I tried to turn around and run, but I tripped over my own feet, scraped my knee, and let out a little holler, man. And you know, just and that thing, of course, you know, he heard me or whatever, and I heard him like hiss at me like a snake, man. And turned around, and that man didn't jump, but he like pounced on me like a big old lion or something, man. And you know, and when he got on top of me, he stuck his tongue out, and it was long, and skinny and split off up in like 2 pieces or whatever, right? And went all around my face, and he's sniffing me like he a dog or something. I'm just like, please let me go, please let me go. I'm just a kid, man. And I said it over and over, man. His mouth opened up, his teeth was sharp, and they had one of them, sharp in his mouth. And his mouth started to come out something like crocodile mouth do. And I'm just screaming like a little girl, man. And right then, he got up and ran away faster than any crackhead I ever seen. He must have got some kind of like super hearing or something and heard the popo coming. And he figured, he ain't had time to eat my little scrawny button. Maybe when he was sniffing me, I just didn't smell like I tasted good. So, he got on up out of there, man. And I wanted to run too, because even as a kid, I knew when the popo got there, you ain't want to be nowhere around. And I'm really surprised they even got there in the first place, because usually it's at least an hour for the police got there. Now, if somebody got reported shot, they get there a little quicker. But if ain't nobody reported actually shot, and it's just like gunshots, then it usually take them, you take a little while before they show up. But, I just laid there looking crazy. And they finally found me and asked me what happened. And I couldn't do nothing but cry, man. And nobody was dead, so the popo just let me down. And when they seen that, they couldn't get nothing out of me, they said, okay, we're going to take the man on home, man. So it was dark outside now. When I got on, my street, Grandma was sitting on the porch with the belt in her lap. Now, the police, man, they could have went on and took me home. He said he was going to take me home, but then the other guy was like, forget that kid. So, forget that kid. So they just left me there. And, I had to walk on home, and Grandma standing there with the belt. And I said, Grandma, it wasn't my fault. And she cut me off, and I don't care if you got shot. I told you be here for the street light. So I guess she must have heard about the shooting and figured, so she knows it was a shooting in, but she still, seen the blood on my clothes from the guy, but we dealt with all that after I got my whooping, man. So so when she come and she say when she said that you almost, like, I don't care if you get shot. I said, well, dang, Grandma, I almost pretty much did get shot. Man, she flew down that porch cussing and praying at the same time. I ain't never seen nobody like my grandma. Be cussing and talking to Jesus all in the same sentence. Lord Jesus, oh boy, I'm gonna bust your head on. I put it in Jesus' name. I ain't never seen like that before in my whole life, but boy, you better not be the one to try to tell her. So anyway, it really messed with my head, and I couldn't tell nobody. I mean, I couldn't, man. Kids so rough to each other. And if word ever got out that I seen a lizard man, I get Jones so bad till I have changed schools. And, I ain't go to the park for a few weeks, and I was scared that lizard boy was waiting on me. And as soon as I show my face, he gonna get me. So I kept asking my friends at school if they believed in monsters and what would they do if they seen one. And one of my friends, a girl, actually kind of paid me some attention when I said, and when I dropped them little hints about monsters and weird things. Now she said she see crazy stuff all the time. And I never spent a whole lot of time with her, but now we were together all the time. And she started telling me how she realized some people walking around with us, ain't like the rest of us. And it hurt me to hear this, because I knew what she was saying was true. And I seen one of these monsters walk around and pretending to be one of us, up to no good and stuff. And I was going to get my head bit off if it weren't for them cops getting there. But one night, during a barbecue, everybody, and everybody would barbecue on the weekends. Every weekend was a barbecue, man. It didn't have to be no holidays. And me and her was sitting on somebody's porch, and we got to talking. So, I had already told myself that tonight would be the night I'd go ahead and let her know about what I'd been through. And she wouldn't look me in the eyes, though, like all day. And I walked her down the block where it was quiet and told her everything that happened. And she didn't flinch. She didn't even make a confused face. And when I got done, she told me to follow her. And she said she had something to show me. Now, I was so happy to finally get it up off my chest that I didn't even feel bad anymore. And even if Lizard Man was out to get me, at least somebody would be around to tell my kids what happened, you know. Somebody tell my grandkids that the granddaddy got ate up by a lizard man, you know, back when he was a kid. You know. Yeah, now that I say that, if I got ate by a lizard man, you know, I wouldn't have had no kids, but that's beside the point. Y'all understand what I'm talking about now, you know. But anyway, so she took me to this alley and asked me to move this old stove that was leaning up against the garage. Now, I took everything I had, but I finally got it to move now. And there was a hole in the wall of the garage, and we went in. Now, I told her it wasn't no light, and she said, open the window shade thing up. And it was a small little window, but it was right under the street light, so it let some good beams of light up in there. So I started getting scared. Then I heard the stove move back, like up in front of the hole. So now I went from scared to scared. And then in the beams of light, I seen her. But she wasn't my friend no more. And I could tell by looking at her eyes. And her eyes was wise and spaced out and mean at the same time. And all the little color parts in there turned to, you know, her eyes turned to little slits, everything, just a little slit. And she started growling. And I made my way to that stove and I tried to move it, but I couldn't get no leverage on it. Now she stopped growling and started asking me to help her. And I did like her, I did like her. And she started saying, I just wanted to, show you my true self. I started saying, well, you could have kept lying. You could have kept the lie alive. I had no problem with that. So now I stopped messing with the stove and went to the corner and I seen this ladder and found something to bust that window out with. And she said, I knew you were playing games with me. I'm going to get you. And I climbed out that window and cut myself up pretty bad, but I ain't care. I had to get over there where everybody else was. And even a good plate of rib tips couldn't make me feel better tonight. I knew that these lizard folk were just all around me now. I ain't know who to trust. And the next day was Sunday, and we went to church. And as a kid, I really ain't paid no attention in church, I'm just a kid, man, and I understood, what I could understand at the time, but I was still a kid, man. And the preacher had been talking to her, but, it was a little different. Because today he was talking about how some people who really ain't who they say they is. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, dang, some people really lying, putting up a front. So I know he wasn't talking about the lizard folk, but that's how I took it, And I kept looking around, trying to see if I could catch somebody's eyes change for a quick second. Somebody flipped their tongue out or something. But I ain't look around too much, because that was a quick way to get grandma to pop you in the back of the head, boy, Don't turn around and check. I don't care what's going on behind. You better keep your eyes front. Now at church, I didn't want to go outside, so I stayed and watched the ball game, and it was a good one. And it took my mind off of everything, and I really just enjoyed it. It's been so long since I could just relax my mind, man. The lizard folk, had me where I about couldn't sleep, worried that they're going to come get me. And I'm watching the game, and I realized I was the only one home. So I said it was the perfect chance to, go get me some drink. Now, Grandma bought this juice stuff that didn't have no name or nothing. It just said grape on the label with a smiley face. That's all that was on there. Wasn't no nutrition facts. Wasn't no expiration date, nothing. It just said grape with a smiley face on it. I don't know what they put in that. That must have been back in the day when you could put cocaine or something in your food before and the government didn't check it. Cause that juice right there, I'd be dang near ready to kill somebody over a sip of that. So I said, yeah, let me go back there. I ain't get too much now, cause Grandma can tell if I got some, but I just got just enough where I can get that little rush up off of it now. And so I went back there and got some of that, man, and I got my sugar rush, man. And I seen one of the players do on the TV do a move I'd never seen before. So I figured I need to try that out, man. So I went and got my ball and started dribbling, and I was scared of Grandma. So I still couldn't really bounce in the house, comfortably. So, I went up in the backyard. Now, it wasn't long before I heard the gate open and close, and it was my friend, and she was staring at me with a smile. The lizard girl from the night before. And she said, "You ain't no kind of friend. How you just leave me in that dark alley like that? What if I got kidnapped or something?" And I said, "Ain't nobody gonna kidnap you over there looking like something from a horror movie, girl." And she started walking toward me real slow, just still smiling and stuff, right? And I picked the ball up like I'm going to throw it at her. She ain't even flinch, man, so I throws it at her. And Bobby right in the nose, and she screamed. I run and hit the corner and hopped the fence and turned to leave the alley. And there she was standing right there waiting on me, still smiling. And she grabbed hold of me and and slapped the taste up out my mouth. Look, I couldn't taste like the residue of that juice was still in my mouth. But when she got done slapping me, man, even that grape crank juice residue was gone. And I started hollering and stuff and I tried to hit it. But everywhere I went, she kept popping up. I don't know, that girl was so fast. Everywhere I went, she already to beat me there. And I finally got tired and ran into the old storefront that was boarded up. And some winos had opened it up. And usually I ain't go around no wino, but I was desperate to get away from my old girl. And I seen a lady in the store, lying on a cardboard box. And she was so gone, she couldn't even hear me when I bust up in there. And I tried to hide, but I heard somebody right behind me, so I just started looking for me a good head bashing stick. And I grabbed me a piece of metal and I found her and I watched her, and she just slid on in the doorway. And I said to her, "Hey, baby," I tried to get my Boosie Collins on, "Hey, baby, can we just rap for a little bit, baby? Stop scaring me silly and hit me to what's really going on, baby." And she said, "Promise me that you're not gonna stop running from me. You're gonna stop running from me, playing all hard to get and stuff." And I played along with it. I kept going. And I said, "I don't understand now, baby. But now I see that I need to take some time and get to know you." I don't understand now, but I didn't understand then. But I now see that she was happy to tell somebody normal about her secret. And she said the ghetto had always had these lizard folk for just that like for generations. And the whole plan was to understand the culture better and to find ways to fit in. And she was just a kid like me, so I don't think she fully understood what she was saying herself. But looking back, I think I understand why the streets got so messed up. Yeah, the hood always been bad, but every year, things were just getting worse and worse, and strangers coming in the neighborhood starting mess, and nobody can answer why, that boy shot that boy up, or that party the other night got shot up. The whole thing changed. Wasn't even no reason to the stuff no more. And she said her family is powerful, and she hoped she wouldn't get in trouble for talking to me. And I wasn't scared of her no more. I actually wanted to go and, hugs on her. And she's my first love. Yeah, I was young, but I started growing up that moment, and she spilled her heart to me. And we hugged, and we both started crying. Well, if you think dating a regular girl is crazy, wait till you hear about dating a lizard girl. I'm trying to tell you. Ooh. But it was good. Like I say, she was my first true love, and we had so much fun, and she just let me jump on her back and carry me all across the hood at lightning speed, jumping from the top of buildings, picking up big, heavy stuff and tossing it. And the crazy part was she would go into full lizard mode sometimes to do the real crazy stuff. And she was a beautiful girl, but I got to admit that lizard mode with all that big muscles and scales and sharp teeth, to this day, it just do something to me. Excuse me, sir. You are on 10,000 right now. I'm sorry. Take it down to 10. I take it down to 10 now. Anyway. Don't judge me now, cause you ain't seen what I done seen, you know. But in two-way, she was careful to only hang with me at certain times, though. And I didn't realize at first, though, until she told me we could only see each other at night. Now, of course, I asked, you know, why, and I was kind of mad, because, you know, Grandma wouldn't let me hang out past street lights. So after taking a few whoopings, I decided I couldn't deal with the pain every day. I told her she was going to have to explain herself, because I loved it her, and I also loved it sitting down. And she started crying and said that her family was in town and that she was scared that something really bad was finna happen. And boy, she wasn't lying either, man. That summer the streets was on fire. Murders it was the worst summer we ever had. Murders left and right. Drugs was getting more and more popular and unpopular at the same time. And it was so bad folks didn't even cry at funerals no more. Everybody was just all crying out. And I knew it was them lizards. And I really, you know, I wasn't really too upset because I had already lost loved ones before. So even though I was young, I looked at it like it was just part of life. And one night I snuck out to see her and she told me that they wanted her to do something bad. And I was like, something like what? And she just kept asking me if I would hate her if she did. And I just tell her, you know, I could never hate you. And she said that she had to start giving out drugs to the kids. You know, get them hooked. Then turn around and get them to do the dirt for her people. Now, the first time she told me this, I just wrote it off. Like, yeah, I don't really know what to tell you. And then I was like, dang, what if I was one of them kids? And she came to me late one night while I was taking the trash out. And I was like, it was like she was waiting on me. And she came up to me real slow with a paper bag in her hand. It was filled with weed. And some of that white girl. And at the time, I ain't know nothing about drugs, you know. I just knew that it was either green or it was white. And I knew the green got you in trouble, and I know the white got you in a whole lot of trouble. So, you know, it was a little saying that went on. It was like, you know, you can mess with the little green or something, and I kind of deal with it, but don't mess with the white girl. Don't mess with that white girl. That's what they tell you, man. And I grabbed her real quick and pulled her down into the gangway. And she looked so sad. And, you know, she wasn't like her folk now. You know, she felt for us regular people, man. She went to school with us. She liked the music we listened to, the games we played, the little corner store snacks and stuff we ate. She liked all that. So it hurted her to have to hurt her friends. So I made a pallet for her in the garage. And nobody ever went in the garage because it was so full of junk anyway. And during the day, she can come in, and if my mama was working, she can come in at night or whatever. And if mama pop up, she just jump out the window with her lizard piles and be gone, man. So that's what we did. This was the scheme we ran. And it was different from day to day, but it was working good. Until one day, she jumped out the window when mama got here and jumped from the second floor to the backyard. And up on the garage and into the alley. And I'm watching her do all this from the window. But somebody else was watching. This old wino named Willie. Now, Willie the dang wino was watching the whole thing. I don't know if he seen her come from my window, but he seen her hit that backyard and hit up to the top of that the dang garage. And when I seen that she realized he was there, she froze up for a second. And I saw her hand go behind her back. And I knew she was bringing them claws and was finna rip Willie's head off. So I tried to get out, but my mom was hanging around the kitchen and I needed to get out the door. So I grabbed the trash bag and pretended like something stank real bad in it. And she was happy to let me go by and take it down to the can. And I got out to the alley in a few seconds and I saw Willie with my girl hands around his neck. So she was in full lizard form. And then she took her fists and hammered him on the head and face over and over. Threw him against the gates and his head bust past the white meat. She went past the white meat and was down into the paint. And now I knew he was dead because it was just juice everywhere. It looked like the Kool-Aid man got tipped over. It looked like the dang Kool-Aid man got tipped over. And I walked a little closer and I was thinking that my baby a killer now. Forget a drug dealer, she a killer now. And she saw me and she started crying and she ran away, but she back in her girl form. And I didn't know if I should help Willie or not. I know he didn't deserve that, but I wasn't finna get my girl in trouble. But what if he recognized her or something, man? But then I thought if he is alive, ain't no way his memory finna work after a trip to Pound Town like that. Then all of a sudden, now Willie's head started to fix itself. And them dents she put in her head were just popping back out. He was one of them too. So I got out of there before he seen me. I had to find my girl before they found her, man. So I waited for him to leave and started thinking about, where could she be? And it hit me that she probably went back to that garage. So I headed over there just hoping she was there. And I know she about 10 times stronger than me, but I felt like I had to protect her, man. Like it was my duty, man. So I grabbed whatever weapon I could find. Found me a rusty pipe that was sharp on the end, and I took off. And when I got there, I called for real quiet, just, hey. And she ain't say nothing back, so I tried to move the stove, and it made a lot of noise, and so she finally came and stopped and moved it herself real quick and pulled me inside. She was in her human form, but she had eyes like a lizard, but they was empty, though. Like she had no emotion, and I just stood there looking at her. And she said she was going to kill them all. She was going to take them all out one by one, rip their heads off so they can't heal back next time. And I knew I wasn't no match for no lizard people. I wasn't even no match for JoJo down the street. So, that boy beat me up every time I walked past his house. I used to go around a long way, just stop from coming past that boy's house. So. But then I thought, I told her, let's go. Let's get on the train and just go. Just go till we can't go no more. Wherever we end up, we just start new. Me and you can be together forever. And she agreed right away before I could even finish talking. So we jumped up on the train and we rode and we rode and we rode. And if any of them hobos tried to mess with us, my boo would twist them up like a pretzel. So we ain't had nothing to worry about. And we stole stuff off the trains to make money, and with her speed and stuff, we never had to worry about getting caught or nothing. And we got us a little room to stay in when we, eventually, and built us a little cabin off the grid. And that was our life. And I'm just coming out now to say that my baby passed away. And I'm not, scared for her safety no more. And I'm not scared for my safety. And I just want them lizard folks to know that she lived a long, good life. And she didn't bow down to y'all evil scheme. And all my folks is dead. I went back to see him after all this time, and my grandma's house done been towed down. And there ain't nothing, for me here. So I think I just head back out to our cabin and stay there till I die. And it hurts so bad, and my heart can't take the pain too much longer.